Very nice. Keep going.
So God told Moshe to keep a diary of the journey, and because it could have taken like a 3-day hike from Egypt, to go into Canaan, but instead it takes 40 years. And God told Moshe to keep a diary, and we should all keep diaries. We should all journal. Because writing is a mirror to the mind, says Dennis Prager.
Can I disagree with that a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. Read your whole thing, and then I'll come
So
in.
if we don't know where we've been, we're also less likely to be grateful. Like I've had my brother and sister have helped me out at various times in my life, and my parents, of course, helped me out, particularly when I was a kid, and I had various other people who've done favors for me. And unless I write it down or have some way of fixing that in my memory, I'm less likely to be grateful to the people who've helped me out. So that's why it's so important to write things down and kind of get a mirror to your mind and find out what's going on inside.
It depends what you're writing down. If you're writing down like things like who you owe favors to, right? You're keeping like a ledger.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I approve of that. Now that like today's diaries are all like I'm blogging, I'm putting it all on the web, and that's fine too. The thing I worry about with diaries is like, oh, I'm writing a diary or I'm writing a journal. That's like the trendy way. I'm doing a journal, and then 9 times out of 10, you can look up this figure. Our historian, fact checker on the in the audience can check it. I think that what happens is the people get caught with their diary. They're not meant for anybody but their own eyes, and then somebody gets a hold of them and gets like all this information about the person, and then they end up like blackmailing the person or whatever, and it's like a big scandal, and like it's like WikiLeaks, and I just like be careful if you're going to keep a diary. You got to keep it in a lockbox. You gotta have like strong security on that, because there's always I always read stuff about this. People, somebody's diary got made or somebody's black book. You know this, right? Because I know that you once in a while buy a hooker. So
That's for sure.
So remember like the Heidi Fleiss scandal?
Yeah.
Because what was the scandal? They found her black book.
Right.
You didn't want to have your name
My
in there.
name was not in there.
That's because you used that alias.
I've never purchased the services of a hooker.
Okay.
I'm a Torah Jew.
All right. So, because
very modest
my name was in there, but you know what? I got away with it. You know why?
Why?
Because I started using the name Charlie Sheen. So, nobody traced it back to me.
That's for sure. It's just not spiritually fulfilling.
Okay. So that's the whole thing. If your name's in a black book, if your name isn't, if you don't want people to see what you're writing, don't write it. Which is actually good about the blog. I actually approve of blog for one thing. Especially if it's not an anonymous blog. Oh, I hate anonymous blogs and the whole internet anonymity. I don't like that. If you have the balls to put your name on it and put it out there, and you're saying this is what it is and I intended for everybody to see, then it's like put it out there. Now you're responsible. You own those words. Great. I have no problem with that.
Now, there are people who you can trust around your diaries who will not look at them. And then there are people who you just can't trust. And so I remember I kept a diary for a while as a kid, and someone read my diary, and I quit keeping a diary because of it. But I've had relationships where I had complete trust in the other person, she had complete trust in me, and I had nightmare relationships where you could not trust the other person. So.
Right. Like the old days, it was I don't want to be I don't know what you're writing about me in your diary, right? Now it's like, what are you writing about me on your blog? It's the same thing, because the blog goes out public, right? But the diary is it's private now, but it's going to end up on the internet anyways, because somebody's going to get a hold of it and put it in WikiLeaks, and away it goes. All right, go ahead. Next thing.
So like the Jews in the desert, we Jews in the diaspora on a journey. Our destination is Israel. Rabbi Meir Simcha of Dvinsk gave this assessment of Jewish exile. Woe to the ones who imagine that Berlin is Jerusalem. So we live in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is a lovely city, love the weather. I like it here, but it's not Jerusalem. So we're on a journey, and our destination is the Holy Land.
Right, and a couple things I want to throw on this. First of all, you know who Rabbi Meir Simcha of Dvinsk is?
No.
He was. I'll give you a multiple choice. No, I don't want him. I can't do that too. He was. I was going to give him multiple choice. Like which one of these three guys is he? Is he the Chafetz Chaim? Is he the Chazon Ish? Is he the Or Sameach? Right. But I don't want to embarrass you because you're a convert, and I'm not supposed to embarrass the convert. So I'll just say he's the Or Sameach. The Or Sameach was a very big anti-Zionist. So I just want everyone to know when he says, "Woe to the ones who imagine that Berlin is Jerusalem," you're always supposed to think about Jerusalem. And when are you supposed to go to Jerusalem, Levi?
Now. Now that there's the secular state of Israel.
No. When the Mashiach comes. Because he was very, the Or Sameach was very, very vocally anti-Zionist.
Is your sister anti-Zionist?
I'm going to say...
Or she's Zionist?
I'm going to say she's non-Zionist.
I'd say she's got a Zionistic slant.
I'm going to say she does not have a Zionist. Does anyone in our audience tonight, by a show of hands, does anybody believe every Jew needs to just pick up and move to the state of Israel? By a sign of hands. Anybody? No. All right. So does anybody in the...
Is your sister Haredi?
Is she ready?
Haredi.
No, she's. I would not put her in a box.
Okay.
You know, I don't think boxes don't work with people in my family. You can't put us in a box. What was I saying? But the Or Sameach was very much against the creation of the state of Israel, and he believed that the oaths. We've talked about it before. That it says in Kesubos 111a, it says in the Gemara, the Talmud says that the Jews must not hasten the times of the redemption. We should not do Kibush Eretz Israel. We should not go conquer the land of Israel and take it back from the Goyim. And there's no mitzvah to go move to Israel, Kalzman, that we're not there. So. He was very much against the creation of the state. Go ahead.
I violated that because I remember there was this girl and she said, "Let's hasten the redemption, Levi. Come over right now."
Uh-huh.
And so I said, "Oh, okay, it'd be a mitzvah to hasten the redemption. Wonder what she has in mind. Like, are we going to, collect money for Israel? Are we going to say Tehillim together? Are we going to tie each other up in tefillin? What are we going to do to hasten the Mashiach?"
I'm afraid to find out, but what did she have in mind?
It wasn't any of those.
What was that?
It was shocking.
Mm-hmm.
I was appalled and ashamed.
Okay.
And I said to her, "This is not what the Or Sameach had in mind. He warned us against this very explicit activity that we've been engaged in. Said that we should not try to hasten the coming of the Mashiach, and we should not try to."
Why would she say that's going to hasten the coming of Mashiach?
I think she was just she knew what my vulnerabilities are. And she knows that I'm always going, Mashiach, Mashiach, Mashiach.
That's
da, 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 da. Mashiach, Mashiach,
okay, now you're killing
Mashiach.
our viewers. You just killed our ratings.
So
nobody wants to hear you sing.
She zoomed in on my vulnerability, on my weakness. She knew that I was just so frum, that I was for Brenta. I was just burning with passion to bring Mashiach. And she said, I'm going to get to Levi's Yetzer Hara by appealing to his Yetzer HaTov. His desire to do good.
She confused you.
I'm going to bring him down.
You.
She tricked me.
You were tricked.
I thought she was appealing to my Yetzer HaTov.
Okay.
And then when it was all over, I realized that I'd simply given in to my Yetzer Hara.
That's a
and
sad
I just felt
story.
so ashamed.
I'm angry at her.
And it's like, how am I
angry at her.
How am I ever going to be able to face my wife on my wedding night now? Knowing
I'm angry at her.
Oh.
She used.
I feel so
that's
ashamed.
like the way of the Midianite women.
Yeah, just exactly.
It's like first, they seduce the men, and the next thing you know, you're bowing down to the Baal Por.
Oh.
Okay, next thing.
I'm so ashamed.
Yeah, you should be.
In the Torah, the Jews constantly lament leaving Egypt, the place they should have left behind.
Right.
But they never lament leaving Mount Sinai, the place that they should take with them. Too often we take with us, we schlep with us stuff we should leave behind. Like that chick who told me, "Hey, let's bring redemption," and then she totally seduced me. I should just leave that behind. I shouldn't be bringing it up.
Don't bring that
and
in the house.
intruding it
I don't
into
want to hear that story
Torah
anymore.
talk with your sister right here.
Yeah, it's
I'm so ashamed.
You're taking this show to a new low tonight.
This very thing that I should have left behind and never say a word to anyone. Instead, I'm schlepping it with